Oh my gosh, why? Oh my god. It says it automatically deletes all streams that don't go live within 10 minutes of the scheduled start. Oh my god.
Oh no.
All right. I think no, we are good. I think.
Okay.
Um check, are we live, Devin? Just look and see if we're live. You don't see it? Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we took too long trying to get ourselves together.
Okay.
Um here's a question, Monica. Are you have Instagram and you follow us, right?
I do.
Okay. Is there any way we can just do this over Instagram live?
Sure. Yes. Yes. I need a
Okay.
different. This is my computer, so I'll have to set up for Instagram, but so it'll take a second, but I can do it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, we're good to go, Monica. We're gonna go
Okay.
ahead and go from here. We fixed it, okay? All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Hey everybody. Thank you guys for holding out with us. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. Our awesome producer Fairy is off being an awesome fairy, and I'm not all that technically inclined. So thank you guys for being here with us again for another episode of Between Two Succulents. I'm very happy to be with you. I'm of course your friendly neighborhood bookseller, Brandon Rashad Butts, and I'm really excited to get to know a lot better and introduce to you all a debut novelist who created one of my definite like snuck up on me, was not expecting to love this book as much as I loved it type of books. It is great. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Our guest has worked in trade and educational publishing in New York and participated in writing workshops at Frederick Douglass Creative Arts Center and at Sackett Street Writers Workshop. She's taught in high school English in Baltimore as well, so she's been around the neighborhood.
I have.
During her time at the Squaw Valley Community of Writers and the Napa Valley Writers Conference, she received her MFA in fiction from the Iowa Writers Workshop, where she was a Rona Jaff Graduate Fellow. She also received a fellowship for the Kimbilio Fiction and residency from Hedgebrook. She currently lives in Oakland, where she's a professor of fiction writing at University of San Francisco. Everyone help me welcome Monica West to the show. Welcome, 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 Monica.
Hi, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Today, we're going to be talking to Monica about her debut novel called Revival Season. Now, you might have heard a little bit about it from all of the glowing reviews, but we're going to get to know Monica a little bit better today. First off, everybody knows it, everybody loves it. Our very first segment called Aw Sucks. So, Monica, what we're going to do is I'm going to show off two of our VIP succulents for this week, and you are going to pick whichever one you want to go to a revival of your own and walk away blessed with a new plant. Sounds great?
Okay. Sounds perfect.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, first off, we have the amazing Fairies Washboard. Now, the Fairies Washboard is a charming, compact succulent plant native to southern Africa. Fairies Washboard features a rosette of triangular leaves with distinct ridges. These distinct ridges resemble the texture of a washboard, giving it its common name. The plant produces flower clusters in the summer, but the flowers are not all that showy. That's the first one. Then second, we're going to have the pincushion peperomia, or the happy bean plant. It's a semi-succulent perennial species native to Peru and the rainforests of South America. The scientific name refers to its connection to the pepper plant. The pincushion grows up to 12 inches tall and features narrow, slender, and juicy lime green leaves. So, Monica, which one do you think you're going to take as your offering?
I think I'm going to go for the fairies washboard.
Yeah, the fairies washboard. That was definitely a favorite. Great, great, great. Thank you for playing along with us.
Sure.
Let's uh let's get into this beautiful story. Now, um you dive into one of the most popular and recurring moments within evangelical Christian life, which is the revival season. Like, I don't know how many revival seasons that I've been with or been to with my mom, who's a minister, my grandmother's a minister, my godfather's a minister. Revival season is definitely a big of a deal, as you made it in the show. Can you give our viewers a little bit of insight or the intent of what a revival is?
Sure. So revivals are events that happen usually over the course of several days in a row. The ones in this book take place over a week, but it's where people, they're usually out, they can be outdoors or indoors. The ones in this book are outdoors. They're kind of a little throwback old school revival-y, but it's where there's a minister who comes and for that little bit of time conducts services that are designed to convert people to Christianity, to heal the sick, and basically to kind of cause the community to have an awakening. So that's why it's called revival. But yeah, it's this practice in Christianity and evangelical Christianity where people are kind of made new over the course of a week, and you kind of come in, you can your life can be changed over the course of several days with healings and sermons and music and just this fervent community of people packed together for kind of multiple nights. So that's what a revival is, and that's its intention.
Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. And yeah, and it is usually like a specific time period too. Often I remember being during the summer, but like, yeah, it
Mhm.
is like a segmented portion of time back then. Yeah. But no, yeah, and revival season is honestly such a specific book,
Yeah.
and it's again unlike anything that I've personally read at this point. And I can't help but wonder if it's sometimes because of my own religious background and my own like upbringing within the faith and whatnot. So I was curious, do you feel this is a book that could be both understood and enjoyed by those who come from non-religious or just other religious backgrounds?
I was really, when I wrote this book, I wasn't really thinking about audience, but then when I started to publish it, I became worried about that. I
Yeah.
said, I don't want this book to feel so specific that only
Mm.
people in this very small segment will understand what it feels like to be revival season. So I'd hoped that it felt really universal, because even though it's this denomination, it's this week in time, it's this pastor's family, the bigger questions in the book are about power and gender and family and faith, and I think that those are bigger than revival season. So what's happened that's been really exciting is that people who are from this faith background have reached out saying they connected, they experienced it the way I wanted them to, and then people who say I've never ever been to church or I've never been to something like this have also said that they found something to connect to. So I think that if you don't come from the background, it may be you might have to kind of catch up in terms of what you need to maybe learn or know. But I have not had anyone say I could not read this book because I didn't grow up this way, which has been really refreshing because
Mm.
I didn't want it to be so specific that it only applied to a very small segment of people.
Yeah, yeah, and I definitely do feel that too. I think it's just personal a personal choice to go on this adventure,
Yes.
regardless of your religious background. To again, if you're in the mood for the themes around feminism, power structure, dismantling the patriarchy, things like that. I think there is something that you can touch with everyone if you follow the almost lyricism of the story. Because I loved how it felt a lot like a devotion versus a sermon when reading
Ah,
it. Versus, I love that part about it. So I recommend it to everybody. I asked that question because I was struggling. I was like, man, how do I recommend it? I know I do, but how? But yes.
I
Um,
love the idea of devotion versus sermon. That's really cool. I haven't heard that. That's really interesting. I like that a lot.
yeah, no, yeah, and again, I think that's from background, like helping my mom with her sermons and whatever, but then also the expectancy of like daily devotion and then
Yeah,
like report on it and things.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
language. Yeah,
absolutely.
uh, yes, absolutely. So and Monica, you've truly created a book that shows how the power of healing can reside within truly any of us. And so, for that
Mhm.
reason, I think that you're going to be the perfect person to take on our next segment that we like to call the lightning round. And how that's going to work is I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Depending on your responses to those 3 questions, as well as the viewers who'll be watching on our StreamYard, if you guys are in attendance and you want to play along, just comment in the comment section on all of the questions, and you might win the opportunity to get a free copy of Revival Season by Lauren West. You want to participate and you want to read this book. Monica, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All righty, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. First question. What is one of your favorite memories that comes from a place of healing?
So when I think about the word healing in general, not just with this book, is I think about 14 years ago. I was living in Baltimore, and my mom got really, really sick over the course of this one. It had been a little while, but over the course of this one summer, and she was really ill. And I remember how we were just kind of, as a family, we didn't know what to do and how to help her. And it was a struggle to figure out what to do. And I watched
Mm,
my mom suffer, for a little while. And then her body started to be healed, and she was healed, and she was no longer sick. And what was interesting about that was now my mom is as vibrant and active and all those things as she was before she got sick. And that's a moment of healing that I return to a lot, of kind of what it means to have
mm,
been ill and to be well. And that's probably the favorite moment. It was not great at the moment, but I look back on it and I
yeah,
remember kind of how much strength I drew and how much strength she had.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mine definitely. Yeah, it's I love again, family. I think family is a big part of that, because I feel like that's just a cohort and people band together
Right.
when in high time or low times, or when it's low, it's definitely very I think mine results in family as well. So I
Yep.
love that. Great. Um, two, question number two. What would you say are some of, if not the biggest danger of equating mankind to God?
So I think that the biggest danger, and it's one of the ones I kind of show in the book, which is that in all ways, in all places, in all times,
Did you take over?
mankind will always fail you. So we are
Yeah,
human, and we are kind of prone to mistakes and prone to hurting you. And in this case of this book, being really violent. So when you end
yeah,
up kind of equating a person to an entity that's divine, you make the person divine. And so I think that that's what happens, is you give people a ton of pride and a ton of belief in their own power that is not theirs. And it is a harder fall when they all of a sudden realize that, they are not gods. And I think that whenever you put man on a god, or mankind on a god pedestal, it's dangerous, because people can't handle it, and they don't do well when they have kind of unlimited power.
yeah, definitely. And I think that is human nature in general, to think of ourselves, regardless of spirituality, as the bigger, the better, the best, the strongest, the one, the only, the alpha and the omega. Even it's I think that's mankind's natural tendency to just
Yeah.
kind of boost ourselves in
Yep.
general. So yeah, I agree. Okay, final question. What would you say to young people that know that there's something special, but they haven't quite yet found how to stand up in that strength?
I think that's super hard, because as a young person, there are all these forces around you, friends and media and social media and the world, that are just kind of want you to maybe not do the thing that you're really great at. And so it's easy to listen and not step into this thing that you believe to be power. So in Miriam's case, there's all these forces around her telling her she can't do this thing. And I think that for young people, it's important to remember that whatever that thing is that gives you purpose and that gives you passion, to just keep doing it. So even if other people are telling you not to, or that as long as it's not hurting other people, but that you should step into this thing that fuels you. For me, it was writing when I was young. For Miriam, it's healing. And I think that if you just stay true to that true north, even when it feels really hard, that will ultimately be something that will benefit you. So just kind of stick it out. It gets easier and better, and you'll be able to kind of come through on the other side, stepping into this power or your truth.
Yeah. Well, listen, you spoke to the inner child in me. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner, Monica. Thank you so much for playing.
Yay,
awesome.
Thanks.
Devin, we got Devin, our shop owner. She's gonna be the voice. She's our voice from above this time around. Devin, who's our lucky winner for this week?
Our lucky winner is Heather Kangas.
Whoa, our first double winner ever. Woo! Congratulations, Heather. You want to go to grab your copy of Revival Season by Monica West. Everybody else, please stop by. We have copies, or stop on our website online where you can shop and get all kinds of book things, including Revival Season by Monica West. Thank you so much for joining us today, Monica. But before we let you go, what's next for you? Are we taking a break? Are we going ahead and writing on the next novel? Are we going to the altar? Like, what's next?
We are in the next novel. We are knee deep in the next novel. And so I'm working my way through trying to figure it out right now. Right now it's tentatively about this cult leader and told from the perspective of 3 of his wives. So that's the book I'm working on right now. And that's what I'm trying to see my way through. So yeah, I'm in it.
I love it. Yes, knee deep in it. Great. Keep going. We love it. While we have you, do you want to take this opportunity to shout out any special causes or organizations?
Sure. I would say one of the things that's a passion of mine is writing and people being exposed to writing. When I was young, I got the chance to write when I was in elementary school. So there's an organization called 826 Valencia, and it's in San Francisco. And it is a place that helps under-resourced students of up to age 18 with writing classes. And so it helps encourage them to write and be creative and take things that they may not be offered in school. So 826 Valencia is a wonderful place here that helps young people write.
I love that. Writing for me was a big deal. Even before reading, just started writing early. So I thank you so much for shouting that out, because I know there's got to be somebody out there who also appreciates that for sure. Everyone, Monica West has created a chance for you to let loose yet hold on to your faith with her debut book, Revival Season. It is available right here at Charm City Books. Monica, thank you again for taking the time to be with us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's been a joy.
And thank you all for watching out on the StreamYard and on YouTube and on Facebook and anywhere else that you've been joining us. We appreciate you and always coming back every Tuesday, same time, same place. We encourage you to get vaccinated, of course. We encourage you to stay masked up. We encourage you to be safe, healthy, drink plenty of water, and we will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.